Alright, hi everyone. In this video we're going to be learning about percent composition. This is probably the easiest thing we're going to be doing the whole unit, which is why some of you are doing this as your digital assignment and lesson, because I know that this is going to be simple and hopefully you won't have too many questions. But percent composition, by definition, is the percent of each element in a compound. So the formula to calculate percent is part divided by whole times 100, and that is the percent composition of your particular element. So what we mean by that is, let's say you have 15 red apples and you have 25 green apples. Okay. And they're all in a box, okay? We could figure out the percentage that's of the box that are red apples and the percentage that are green apples, okay? Because we know the formula is part divided by whole times 100%, or times 100. And so what we get, okay, the whole is everything added together. So in this case, that would be 5 plus 5 is 10, carry the 1. We have 40 total apples. And then if I want to know the percentage of red apples, we would say the part that is red apples is 15 red apples times 100. So if you do this in your calculator and you have 15 divided by 40 times 100, you will get that the thing is 37.5% red apples. And you could do the same for the green apples, but instead of having 15 red apples in the numerator, we would have our 25 green apples divided by the 40 apples total times 100, and that would give you 62.5% green apples. Sorry if you heard that, I just dropped my calculator on the floor. Okay, so the way you calculate a percentage is the same across all things. So we can use that general idea of how we calculate percentages and we can apply it to compounds. So for example, if we have a compound of calcium chloride, what you do is that you assume that there's 1 mole, that I have 1 mole of calcium chloride or 1 mole of lead nitrate or iron hydroxide, okay? And what we do is we figure out the mass of each part and the total mass of the whole. So we know that in the compound calcium chloride, there's 1 calcium and there are 2 chlorines. So if we want to know the mass, remember the mass is what we get from our periodic table. So I know that if I look at calcium, which is number 20, it has a mass of 40.08. So we know that 1 times 40.08 gives us 40.08 grams of calcium. And chlorine, we know the mass is 35.45 from the periodic table. And so 2 times 35.45 will give us 70.9 grams of chlorine. So the mass of the whole thing together would be our calcium and chlorine together, or basically our molar mass of our compound. So 40.08 plus 70.9 will give us 110.98 grams total. So if I want to know what percentage is calcium, we'd say, okay, well I have 40.08 grams of calcium divided by 110.98 grams total times 100, and all we do is put that in our calculator. 40.08 divided by 110.98 times 100, and we get that there is 36.5 1% calcium. And so that is how you calculate percent composition. It's literally as easy as that. And so you have 3 more practice problems, and you have 2 percent composition practice problems that are in word equation. So, or not word equations, but that are in like word problems. So pay attention to those and complete your practice. So every time you're following this as an example, you're figuring out the mass of each element, and then you're adding them together to get the total, and then plugging it into the formula. So if you have any questions, you can come to tutoring. You can send me a message on Remind or comment on this video, and I'll be happy to help you.